Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shishma Sarilla, consulting homeopath at Fiticus Homeopathy. Today we are going to discuss about PCOS and Acanthosis nigricans, which is the most trending as well as common topic. Almost every teenager, most of the teenagers, and even people who are in their late 20s and 30s are also suffering from this. What is Acanthosis nigricans? Acanthosis nigricans is nothing but dark velvety patches either on your neck or your intimate areas or in your elbow regions or your armpits. Many people do not take this into a consideration or do not take this condition very seriously, but you have to remember that acanthosis nigricans is the primary sign for a lot of chronic diseases. So today we are going to study in detail about acanthosis nigricans and how acanthosis nigricans occurs in PCOS, and also what are the best treatment options for acanthosis nigricans. It will be better for you to have an explanation done on the screen so that visually you will be able to understand it and grasp it in a much better manner. So let's dive into the topic through screen explanation. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shishma Sarilla, consulting homeopath at Fiticus Homeopathy. Today we are going to discuss about very important as well as many people are suffering with this kind of thing, which is nothing but acanthosis nigricans and this connection with PCOS. So let's dive into the topic. Today we're going to learn what is acanthosis nigricans. Remember, acanthosis nigricans is a skin condition, right? And it is development of dark velvety patches and thickening of the skin in the intimate areas and as well as around the neck. So this is nothing but acanthosis nigricans. It's most commonly seen in a lot of diseases, but since PCOS is well versed, many people are suffering with PCOS. The statistics of PCOS are more these days. Many people who are suffering with PCOS usually do suffer with acanthosis nigricans also. It is nothing but a skin condition which has dark velvety patches. So let us know today what are the signs and symptoms of acanthosis nigricans. The first and foremost thing you have to remember is that the skin gets really darker and it gets thicker. That's important. Dark, thick and leathery, or you can say velvety kind of skin. As you can see here, this is the neck part. You can see that there is darkening of the skin. You can see how dark the skin is. It is patchy. It is not like there is uniform darkness here, right? It is dark. It is patchy in nature, and not only that, you will have thicker skin. Okay, the area is thickened. So this is the basic sign and symptom. Apart from this, you will also understand that acanthosis nigricans can occur anywhere in the body, especially the flexure region. So what are the regions that usually have or show this acanthosis nigricans? The primary one being the neck region, which is most common around the world. People experience darkening around the neck region, either in the front side or in the back of the neck. Indians show this darkening or acanthosis nigricans mostly in the back of the neck. It's really rare to have even darker skin or thickened darkened skin in the front part of your neck, right? And apart from that, they also show darkening in the armpits, the belly button, which is literally rare unless and until it is occurring in Cushing syndrome. And also you will have darkening in the elbow areas and also darkening in the intimate area along with the groin region, right? So many people do suffer from the common site, like the most common site in the common sites is the neck region, and the next one is the axilla region and the intimate region. These three are most commonly found. Since we have known the signs and symptoms of acanthosis nigricans, let us know how to investigate it or how to know better about acanthosis nigricans through investigations to know if it is actually acanthosis nigricans or it's just some other skin disease that you're suffering from. The primary one and the most easiest one is when you do a doctor consultation. They will examine you and inspect you, and from there itself they will conclude you're suffering from acanthosis nigricans. Okay, along with that they might give you insulin resistance test and HbA1c. What is insulin resistance? To see if you are having hyperinsulinemia with insulin resistance developed. You can do this test either through free insulin, or you can do this test with insulin, FBS insulin, RBS or insulin PP as well. If you're doing insulin FBS, make sure you do insulin PP as well. If you're doing insulin RBS, that is fine, one single test is fine. If you're doing free insulin, that one single test is also fine, right? Apart from that, you have to also do HbA1c. if sometimes the doctor suspect that there is a super added fungal infection, because what happens is when your skin becomes darker, when your skin becomes thicker, when your skin becomes leathery and velvety, there can be folds occurring because of obesity, and in between the folds some people have a lot of perspiration or sweating, so that can lead into an attack of fungal disease. So in order to know if it is surely acanthosis nigricans or any other disease that is depicting like this, we need a skin biopsy, but this is the last resort of investigation. What they usually is they inspect it and they confirm it. After confirmation, for double checking it, we need to do an insulin resistance and HbA1c. At last, if you're not able to conclude, then you should go for a skin biopsy. The picture here represents the skin biopsy of acanthosis nigricans. So now let us see what are the causes which cause acanthosis nigricans. And also remember, acanthosis nigricans is the main or the primary symptom of a lot of chronic diseases. So let us see what causes acanthosis nigricans. First and foremost is obesity and insulin resistance. You have to understand that acanthosis nigricans is very common, or the commonest cause of it is obesity, which is like the people who are suffering with obesity are increasing day by day. So even this problem is also increasing day by day. Even obesity with insulin resistance, the people who are suffering from these two diseases also really high. If you're developing obesity due to hypereating, hyperlipidemia, or if you're developing obesity because of Cushing syndrome, or if you're developing obesity because of hypothyroidism, obesity due to PCOS, all of this will have insulin resistance as the background member. So that is the main cause. Apart from this, a long-term insulin resistance can lead to type 2 diabetes. Whenever you are having acanthosis nigricans and you are having positivity for insulin resistance test, then you can develop type 2 diabetes in next 5 years. I mean, if you are having poor diet control, you can develop it in 1 to 2 years. If you are having good control, then you can reverse it here. But if you're not having good control and you're not having too bad control, you're somewhere in the middle with improper sleep or improper lifestyle changes, then you can suffer from type 2 diabetes in 5 years. Apart from that, polycystic ovarian syndrome we see commonly, especially people who work in as our clients into this Fideicus homeopathy, or people who are online share pics of their dark, thick, leathery neck, the elbows and the armpits. Acanthosis nigricans appears 2 to 3 years before your type 2 diabetes. Also, it appears as the first sign in PCOS if it is having insulin resistance as the background. It appears as the first sign in Cushing syndrome also. So you should not take this acanthosis nigricans for granted, right? And then we have Cushing syndrome, as I already told. People who stress out a lot or have familial tendencies, they have high cortisol level, which leads into Cushing syndrome. And people who are suffering from hypothyroidism and obesity can show acanthosis nigricans as a primary feature. After certain medications, if you are feeling that your body is getting a little darker, or your back of the neck, your armpits or your elbows are becoming a little bit thicker and darker, stop the medications and consult your doctor who has prescribed that as soon as possible. Apart from that, in certain cancers and in familial tendencies, you do suffer from acanthosis nigricans, right? And if you are having a lot of stress and you're not eating properly, sometimes in syphilitic conditions, like people who have or who take blame on themselves and continuously say bad things to themselves and degrade themselves, will suffer from autoimmune, mostly suffer from autoimmune diseases. So if they are and acanthosis nigricans can also be a part of this autoimmune disease. Apart from that, there are certain genetic syndromes which lead into acanthosis nigricans, right? So anyhow, acanthosis nigricans is a primary feature, or it is just like a sign which says like something is wrong in your body, and you have to change, or you have to make your lifestyle much more better. Now we will be seeing how PCOS and acanthosis nigricans are connected to each other. Remember, here we are talking only about females. Even males suffer from acanthosis nigricans due to different diseases. It can be insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, Cushing syndrome, familial tendencies, or it can be genetic syndromes, right? But in females, acanthosis nigricans due to PCOS is a little bit more. So let me explain the pathology, right? So if you take a person who is suffering from acanthosis nigricans, you take a PCOS patient who's suffering, right? How does acanthosis nigricans develop in them? PCOS has a characteristic feature of insulin resistance. or hyperinsulinemia. What is hyperinsulinemia and this insulin resistance? You have to understand that if, for example, my blood sugar is 80, right? I've just had a chocolate, and after some time my blood sugar rises up to 140. Okay, so what does the brain does is that the brain thinks that since the blood sugar is high and the cells need this blood sugar for day-to-day work, what does that do? It tells the pancreas to secrete insulin, and when the insulin is secreted, the cells have a lock, and insulin is like a key. Insulin goes into the cell, it opens the cell lock, and then glucose from the blood enters into the cell for day-to-day activities. But what happens either in genetic conditions or in PCOS or in certain mutations or in the familial tendencies or in Cushing syndrome or in autoimmune diseases, there are some molecular changes in this lock. Even though the insulin is there, we are not able to open the lock, right? So what the brain does is that it does not recognize the molecular change in the lock, but it recognizes only the blood sugar which is spiking in the blood. So what it tells the pancreas, you do a little bit more work and secrete a little bit more insulin. So the insulin is there, the blood sugar is also high, the insulin is also high, but there is a problem with the molecular lock, right? Or it can be such that in some autoimmune diseases and also in some PCOS patients, what happens is that the lock is normal, but the key, that is the insulin, there are duplicate keys made, like there are antibodies for this insulin. So before the insulin get released, this key which is just like insulin, goes and attaches to the lock, but it does not open the lock. So the glucose is not going from the blood into the cell. The glucose is still there. There is a lot of hyperglycemia, what we call hyperglycemia is there. Then we have this hyperinsulinemia, and then on a longer run we have insulin resistance developing, right? Even though there's a lot of insulin, the cells are resistant to it because of the molecular changes. Fine. So from here, what happens is that after insulin and after this hyperinsulinemia, insulin has a characteristic of growth factor activation. It has a characteristic of activating the growth factors. So what does this growth factor do is that it acts on the keratinocytes, which are the skin cells. The name of the skin cells are keratinocytes. So what it does is it just signals the skin cells to develop more faster, to become more thicker, to become more darker with the production of melanin, right? So this, what happens is, because there is growth factor activation, the skin cells which are supposed to have or supposed to develop within 28 days or 28 days will develop rapidly between 5 to 10 days, and then the skin is becoming thicker, and uncontrolled it can become much thicker. It will lose luster, it will lose all the glow, it will lose all the color. The insulin will trigger the growth factors, and growth factors will trigger the melanin or melanocytes. They will produce a little bit more darker skin tone, which is patchy in nature, which is not good to look at. So the skin is usually becoming thicker. If you take 28 days for the skin to completely come up and become a little thicker, because of this acanthosis nigricans condition, or because of this insulin resistance condition, the skin will become thicker or proliferate faster or grow faster within 10 to 12 days itself. Usually it should take 28 days, right? But it is taking 10 to 12 days, so skin becomes thicker, it lacks luster, it lacks glow, and it will become really darker. And after becoming darker, what happens? This appears as acanthosis nigricans. And there is continuous insulin resistance and hyperinsulinemia and PCOS. So it triggers acanthosis nigricans as well as it maintains acanthosis nigricans. I think with this slide you have understood how important maintaining your sugar level is, either in PCOS or any of these chronic diseases. Now let us see the conventional form of treatment for acanthosis nigricans. Here we are not discussing particularly about PCOS because we have already discussed what are the best treatment options for PCOS in our previous videos. But if you do want to check it out, the link will be provided in the description box. You can go and check out our PCOS videos. Apart from that, let us get into the topic. If you're someone who's suffering from acanthosis nigricans, what will your dermatologist give you, or what will your allopathic doctor prescribe to you? The first and foremost thing is retinoids, or they will be prescribing you keratinolytes. So what happens with this retinoids or keratolytics is that the problem with them is, after you start using them, the skin cell turnover is increased or hastened. The skin becomes thinner. The darkness little bit decreases a little bit, or it completely goes away sometimes. But the problem is, as soon as you stop using them, it will recur back, because these retinols or these keratolytics, they do not act on the hormones which are causing this acanthosis nigricans. They are just topical treatments, right? Apart from that, you will get treatments with urea if you are having, small bumpy skin, especially near the elbow area. Urea works really well, but the problem with this is after you stop doing this, the whole things return back, right? And there are other therapies which are much famous. They are getting a lot of fame recently on Instagram, which are dermatoabrasion or dermabrasion or laser therapy, chemical peels, and Sorlin plus UVA. You can get these treatments, but these treatments do not target the cause, which is the hormonal imbalance. If you take allopathic form of treatment, hormonal imbalance is treated with hormonal contraceptives, and that is not the OG treatment for PCOS. It does not cure PCOS. It does not alter its outcome or make the prognosis really good. It just helps in managing, and if you stop this allopathic form of medication, you can experience mid-menstrual bleeding, and after stopping these hormonal pills for 1 or 2 months, your condition can completely revert back. So you need a medicine which is efficient, which does not recur the complaint, and also which does not have side effects. Allopathic form of treatment does have side effects. So, okay, the retinoids have, keratolytics have, urea has its own side effects. The hormonal treatment has its own side effects with weight gain, acne, pore opening, oily skin, and all of that stuff, right? But you can get dermabrasion, which is removal of the extra layers of skin mechanically, or you can chemically peel them. But the thing is that even though you do them, they have a downtime. For example, if you're doing a diamond dermabrasion or a crystal dermabrasion, the next session needs at least 20 to 25 days, right? If you're taking chemical peel, it at least needs 18 to 20 days for the next peel to be done, and it has a limited sessions. For example, if you're taking MDA, that is microdermabrasion, you can take 6 to 8 sessions. If you're taking peels, you can also take 6 to 8 sessions, but you have to stop after 8 sessions because skin will become very, very thin and you can develop telangiectasia. But after that, you have to again not regain back the thick skin, right? So in order to have better result, you can use homeopathy and get this treatment done in the same manner so that you will have better outcome. Now here comes the homeopathic form of treatment, which is completely safe to use, very effective. It will manage the cause. We will take you holistically and treat you holistically like a person. That is, even though in your same family you have 3 to 4 people who are suffering from acanthosis nigricans and PCOS, 4 of them will not be getting the same medications. Each of them will receive medications based on their totality, a totality which is made up by, grasped by the doctor through mental generals, which are the mental symptoms of the patient. A healthy patient can also have certain constitution, that is certain way or certain mentality, right? So that is taken into consideration. The physical symptoms are taken into consideration, the aggravation factors are taken into consideration, the amelioration factors are taken into consideration. So everything is taken into consideration, and a custom made medicine is given to you so that it works at its best to regularize your menses, to have better health, to increase your fertility, to decrease your acanthosis nigricans. So by that we can prevent furthermore recurrences. Compared to allopathy, homeopathy has lesser number of recurrences. We can cure your conditions and relieve all of your symptoms. If you're someone who's suffering from female reproductive organ diseases, Fideicus homeopathy is the answer. Here we have 2 kinds of consultation options. One is the online consultation option, and the second one is the in-person or the offline consultation option. If you're someone who's staying near the nearest branch of Fideicus, you can come and contact us in person. But if you're staying far away from us, you can contact us online either through audio consultation option or through the video consultation option. After the doctor consultation has been taken place and the investigations are verified and the case is completely taken and grasped from you, especially to the online clients, the medicines will be door delivered to you. If you're staying in India, it can take 3 to 4 business days. If you're staying in USA, 3 to 5 business days. Apart from that, anywhere across the globe, we can take 4 to 8 business days for our medicines to reach your doorstep. If you want to get in touch with us or contact us, you can call us, WhatsApp us, or messages on the number which is given here. Apart from that, if you still want to know about Fideicus homeopathy, you can check our website www.fideicus.com. If you're someone who's suffering from female reproductive organ diseases, you've understood how homeopathy is a better choice for lifestyle disorders, and here we are discussing why Fideicus homeopathy is much better choice in homeopathic field. Fideicus homeopathy stands for highest chance of health. Here we are following 3 principles. The first being that we are already dealing cases with PCOS, PCOD, acanthosis nigricans, hirsutism, hair fall, bulky uterus, fibroids, adenomyosis, endometriosis, cervical erosion, and we are having very high success rate in treating them. Apart from that, the treatment here at Fidelis Homeopathy is transparent, which means there is no gray area between the patient and the doctor. The doctor will clearly explain to you the prognosis of the case, right? And then we have personal care here at Fidelis, which is top notch. All your queries, all your questions will be answered. We will be educating you on your disease. So if you want to choose cure, if you want to choose health, choose Fidelis Homeopathy. So today in this topic, we have learned about how Acanthosis nigricans occurs, what are the basic causes, why is it a primary sign for major chronic diseases, and how Acanthosis nigricans develops in PCOS patients, what are the best treatment options. We have learned about all of this. And if you have any more doubts about Acanthosis nigricans or any other female reproductive organ diseases, you can come to the comment section and comment whatever, feel free to comment whatever you're feeling or whatever you want to learn. We will either reply to you or do a video on the concern that you have expressed to us. And furthermore, if you're having any sort of doubts, you can call us on the number we have displayed on the screen. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel Fidelis Homeopathy. And if you want to know more about other female reproductive organ diseases or any other diseases, do subscribe our channel so that you will be getting continuous updates from us and you will increase your knowledge in medical field. Thank you.
Fidelis Homeopathy.